this video, I'm going to talk about Melissa and Bryce from Married at First Sight, because people have been asking me to make a video about them. So Married at First Sight is a TV show that matches people apparently according to their personalities. So psychologists match them, and the idea is they're supposed to be well suited, but it doesn't seem to turn out like that.
Am I your usual type?
It's a tough question. I'll be completely honest, not 100%.
He's answered her question, she asked a question, he's been honest, you're not my usual type. And there's nothing offensive about that. You know, maybe he goes for another look usually. Maybe he's a bit bored of that look and he wants a different woman now. You know, she's a beautiful woman, so she, you know, her look might be a nice change. So that's fine. Maybe he could have said something nice about how she looks and that could have been the end of the conversation. But unfortunately, it wasn't.
I've always gone for the blonde hair, blue eyes, tan kind of girl, and taller.
I don't know what to say to that.
Why is he saying what he usually goes for in this kind of detail? Like, he could have said, oh, I usually go for women with blonde hair, or with light blonde hair, something, and just left it at that. But instead he said with blonde hair, blue eyes, tall and tanned. And that's known all over the world really for being something appealing. It's a bit like him saying, I usually go for women with really good figures and beautiful faces. Because by saying what he's saying, it's clear she doesn't have these attributes. And so she's gonna feel like she's not good enough.
I can't just say hi. I'd 100% come up to you in a bar and be like, buy a drink, because I don't know. I
mean, it comes across to me as really arrogant. If she was able to see the way he's acting for really how it is and what's really going on here, then I think she'd be finding it funny that he thinks she's in such suspense, waiting to find out if she'd be lucky enough that he'd offer her a drink in a bar. I
can't just say hi. I'd 100% come up to you in a bar and be like, buy a drink, because I don't know.
He seems to be getting something out of this. I get the sense that there's some kind of ego boost going on for him, because it feels like a real power difference at the moment.
But definitely when I first saw you, I was like, okay, not my type, but I was like, she's not ugly. You have got blonde hair.
So this man knows how to make women feel good about themselves, clearly. So now he's gone from saying that you're not my usual type to you're not my type, which is quite different. Touching someone's hair, well, I mean, that's really quite personal. And he's made this assumption that it's okay for him to do that after insulting her. And then he says that she's not ugly. That's another insult.
Bryce's first impressions of me rattled me a little bit. But I guess that's how he felt.
It's upsetting to watch because she's taking this out on herself, you know, she's feeling really bad. She's a beautiful woman. I actually think she's a lot more attractive than the women that he finds attractive. She's not getting angry with him. You know, it doesn't seem that something's clicking, and she's thinking, wow, this guy has really crossed a boundary. Who does he think he is to speak to me like this? None of that's going on. Instead of empathizing with herself and with how she's left feeling because of his nasty words, she's empathizing with him, and she's thinking, well, he was being honest. You know, I'm not going to judge him for that. He hasn't done anything wrong. And I'm left feeling like this, but, you know, probably for good reason.
She's last.
Really?
Only because she's the oldest, and I would never go for her.
Bryce has begun to rate the other wives in order of attractiveness.
It's a great opportunity for one person to make another person feel awful about themselves. And this is what the show thought would be a good idea. So it's very clear that their priorities are just about entertaining the audience, and they're really not considering the mental health and well-being of the people on their show. That's what I think.
Are you noticing a theme yet?
Blondes, tans.
Look, I know that Joe's a lot older as well, so but Joe's not a bad looking girl. And then there's 3. I'm gonna say Booker, because I'm not into girls with tattoos, even though you've got tattoos.
He's really twisting the knife. This is now the 3rd time he's said something really insulting to her. So a pattern is forming. Melissa didn't ask, oh, why don't you find her attractive? So there was no need to say that. He's already said he doesn't like her eye colour, her height, or the fact she's not tanned. And now he's saying, I also don't like your tattoo. If Melissa had a good sense of her own boundaries, this would all be a massive turn-off. You know, she would find Bryce really unattractive because of the way he speaks to her. But unfortunately, what she's done is she's turned all of this stuff onto her. She's seeing herself through Bryce's eyes and she's not empathising with herself. That's why she's still sitting on the sofa next to him.
And Samantha is my normal type, but I can tell the hair is like really fake looking. And I'm normally into like natural blonde, so Rebecca isn't normally the type of girl I would go for, but there seems to be something about her.
They're not talking about people they've seen on films. That would be different. Oh, this person's really attractive. Yeah, that's fine. You're never going to meet them in real life. But these are the couples they're going to meet during the show. They're going to meet them regularly. So how awkward is this going to be for Melissa when Bryce has already said about one of the women, well, there's just something about her. She's not even my usual type, but I'm putting her first.
Bryce has one last wife to rank.
Oh,
His own.
can you not look where I put it?
I'm not.
You can look.
It's a kick in the guts.
So when she's saying that was a kick in the guts, he's smirking in the background. So she's just said that she's really hurt and he looks happy about it. So there's 2 things going on here. One of them is that he has intentionally hurt her and he's pleased that it's worked. He's on a power trip at the moment, I think. And the other thing that's happened is that she has stayed on the couch next to him. So she said this was a kick in the guts, but she's still there. If we put it into the whole context of this situation, he's just got married to this person and he's going to be seeing these other women that he's ranked her against regularly. Does she need to know that he thinks other women look a lot better than her?
Don't even know what to say. 4th? You don't even get a medal for that.
Again, she's not behaving like she's annoyed with him in any way. If someone goes out of their way to tell you something that you haven't asked to hear about, and they know that it's going to hurt you, and then when it does, they carry on behaving like that, that's not them being insensitive. It's them intentionally trying to hurt you. And abusive people will often tell you that you're being oversensitive to be offended by what they say. And that's them gaslighting you. One way of knowing if someone was being insensitive or if they were being hurtful is to ask yourself how you are around other people. Do you generally get really offended by people? Or is it just this one person who seems to offend you on a regular basis? And do they look happy when you get offended? Can you ever see a smile on their face? Do their eyes light up? Do they seem to get more energy when you get hurt by them?
I know you're probably hoping that you're number 1. And look, knowing what I know about all the girls as a complete package, definitely a standout number 1 for me. But just, you know that I can't lie. I'm not a good liar, so I think if I'd put you at number 1, you'd be able to tell that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
I can't lie. Lying is a bad thing. Everyone knows lying is a bad thing, and I can't do it. I'm just such a good person. When in reality, she hasn't looked at his face the entire time. So there's been no opportunity for him to have been a good or bad liar. He's just put a photo on a table. He could easily have put the photo in a different position. But what he's doing is he's trying to make sure, after he's really hurt her deeply, that he still looks like the good guy. If he's decided at this point that he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her, that he's not attracted to her and he never will be, then that's different. You know, then it might be useful for her to know that that's how he's feeling. He's making it worse, because it's like he's saying, my feelings about how you're not that attractive are so strong that you would have picked up on it, right? And she's saying, yeah. And so again, she's not sensing that he's crossing a boundary here. She's not understanding how rude and insensitive and generally unpleasant he's being. And she's letting it happen, and she's just feeling the pain as if somehow she deserves it.
There you go. Obviously, she's hurt by it, which I completely get. I'm just going to chuck him in the bin. But I've always said from day one, I'm going to be honest. Where can we put this one? It's a nice photo. Here we go. I do hope that she understands that the purpose of the exercise was to sort of go off sort of looks.
Taking the photos off the table, throwing them in the bin, putting her photo up and saying it's a nice photo, all of this is meaningless, and he knows that, because he's just told her that she is only number 4. The only purpose in doing this is to keep his nice guy image up.
Don't think too much into it. I didn't think it was the right thing to do, just to make someone feel better. I'm very curious to sort of see where I fit in. Be honest. What are you waiting for? Go for it.
Margot, it was so easy. I told you at the wedding day that when I saw you, first thing I said to my grandparents was, he's hot.
If she'd even the score a bit, maybe that would have been a healthy dose of his own medicine. She didn't need to add that bit of information. It feels to me like she's used to being in a position of not having power. She's comfortable there, it's familiar, even though it hurts. And so she's still sitting in that position. She's giving him extra information that keeps her in that position.
I don't really know what to say.
Putting Bryce's card at number 1, a no-brainer for me.
Well, thank you.
Where to from here? It'll just take a bit of time to process.
So if it was really important to her to be 100% honest, she could have put the photo there, and then she could have said, look, I've realised today, based on a lot of the things you've said, that you don't really have much empathy. It feels a bit abnormal and I don't feel comfortable around it. I don't feel comfortable around you, and it's put me off you. So unfortunately, I just don't see this working out. So she wasn't the victim anymore, you know, and she didn't have to put up with any more of this rubbish from him. Since making this video, I've noticed there's quite a lot more footage on Melissa and Bryce, so I'm going to be making more videos, or at least one more video on them. So I hope that was helpful. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I want to draw your attention to the plight of the little elephant. He was rescued from a shop where he was being bullied by a ferocious knitted bulldog, and he still doesn't have a name. I have admittedly been quite useless at thinking up one for him. So I think we should all name him. So please find him on Instagram. It's live_abuse_free. And look through the photos, think about what name you think would be right for him. I'll look through the names you put down and I'll pick some that everyone can vote on. So I think he'll be very excited to hear your suggestions.